Hi guys, it's Dawn again. So we're talking equipment and what you need to be a successful dog trainer. So on my kitchen table I have some equipment out onto the table that you will need to train your dog with. So one of the things we want to talk about is collars. So we want to make sure that we're having success with our dogs and puppies. We always want to make sure that we have a buckled collar. Now the buckled collar itself, whether it's a plastic clip or metal clip like this one, we just want to make sure that the collars are fitting properly and that they're in good condition. So if your collars are dirty, what you can do is you can just throw them in the wash and give them a good scrub. What we want to make sure is that the collars that you're having on your dog are in really good, clean condition. So whether it be the metal buckle or a plastic buckle or a flat collar, so this is what this is a flat collar. We want to make sure that the dogs are in. Now, if your dogs have ID tags, this is basically where your ID dog tags are going to go, is onto the collar that goes around your dog's neck. So how do you fit it? So if you take a look at Mr. Nero here. Hello, Nero, come here. You sit? Good boy. So if you look at Mr. Nero, underneath all this hair, he has a collar right here. And if I get my finger, you should be able to fit 2 fingers underneath his collar. Now the reason is because when you go to pull the collar up, it should not go over your dog's head. Thank you, buddy. Good boy. Here. Good boy. That kind of stressed him out a little bit. Whereas if we go over here to Squishy, hi Squish, you look at his collar, and his collar is the same. I can get my fingers in underneath his collar, right? This one's actually a little bit big, but when I pull up, it does not go over my dog's ears. Good boy, right? Whereas if I go over here to Miss Liza, and I pull on her collar, guess what? It's too big. It just came right off. So what we want to do is to make sure that this collar fits, is that this collar actually is too big and we need to make it smaller. So to make it smaller, it's quite easy. You just move the material closer and then you can just clip it on. But right now we're just going to slide that on because okay. All right. So another thing we want to talk about is harnesses. So this is an Easy Walk harness, and an Easy Walk harness is a harness that is developed to go around the dog's middle and be clipped into the front. So we're going to use Liza here. Hi Liza, I'm going to put your collar, there we go. So I just put it on. I'm going to clip it on. Okay. So as you can see, the clip where the leash goes is in the front. So this is where the leash gets clipped. Now when you're looking at this, when you put it on your dog, you want to make sure, just like the regular collar, that you're able to get some fingers in there around. So they're not super tight, but tight enough that it's not going to come loose or pull off the dog. Okay, so you have the harness, you have the leash. Okay, so what we want is we want a standard 6-foot leash. Any leash will do. Just make sure it's nice and comfortable for you. If you find that the leash isn't comfortable or if it's too big, then you're going to clip the leash to, big nose, onto the harness. There we go. Tight. So retractable leashes are not something that we want to train our dogs on, and there's many reasons why. So I won't get into that during this. It's going to be way too much to talk about. So something else that we need to work on as far as dogs go is we want to make sure that they have some form of identification as far as being a service dog. So when you have a service dog, you want to make sure that you have some form of jacket or bandana or something that says that your dog is in training. So when your dog is in training, we want to make sure that, again, the this one's too small. That one's too small for you. Yeah. Okay. See how it's sitting too far up? We want to make sure that when we put the harness on or the jacket on, that when we put it on her that it's actually resting just below her shoulders. There we go. So that way it's not restricting the dog of any movement. Yeah. As far as you go as a trainer, some things that you should be considering is getting yourself a treat pouch. These are a fantastic tool for dog trainers in general. One, it holds all your treats in there. Two, it holds poop bags, it holds clicker. I have emergency money in here. It has a little bit of a pocket where I have a little cleanup bag just in case there's accidents. I have my ID in there. I can put car keys in there. So this is kind of a one-stop shop, all doggy thing. So attached here I have some clickers, I have several of these. I have one in the house, I have one in the car, I have one in the truck, I have one in the camper. Anywhere where I'm going to be, I generally have one of these available with food already in it and prepared and ready to go. So let's talk food. So when we're talking dog training, we want to make sure that we have some food with us. So food comes in varieties of different levels of what dogs would consider value. So one of the lower value is, of course, your dog's dog food. So kibble, you can buy them in the little bags. I suggest buying in smaller bags. You can use your dog's regular kibble if you like. Cat treats are really, really nice for dogs to use. They're really high in protein, and the dogs seem to really, really love them. And they're already in really small pieces, so you don't have to cut anything up, which is fantastic. And then, of course, then you get into other types of food where we have hot dogs, I have carrots, I have cheese, I have beef jerky, and I have some turkey, baked turkey as well. So go in through your fridge and see what you have in there as far as food goes. So carrots, cheese, and hot dogs, most people have them in their food, in their fridge on a regular basis. If you're creative and want to save some money, this is a good way to go. Leftovers are fantastic for dogs. If you want to be kind of the baker kind of person and you enjoy kind of making your dog treats, then you can go ahead and make some of these. They are fantastic. This is beef jerky. It's just hamburger and beef liver dehydrated together. And depending on your dog, if your dog is a food hound, right now, they'll take any of these. If you have a dog that's a little bit pickier, maybe you want to be a little bit more creative as far as trying to find something that's going to work for your dog. If you have dogs that are not too picky, dogs that are picky, it's just going to be a whole bunch of debunking of whether or not trying to figure out what works and what doesn't work. So this is a good place to start. Make sure you have the appropriate equipment, make sure you have the appropriate food, make sure you have the appropriate size, make sure you have the, everything is in good working condition, nothing's frayed, nothing's falling apart, nothing is dirty, and making sure that you and your dog look as a professional team. Yeah, so that's step one. Congratulations, you just finished level 1 of dog training. We'll talk to you later. Okay.